Wang Qishan is not a typical diplomat. He is one of the most powerful and influential figures in the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP. He has been a close ally and confidant of President Xi Jinping for decades, dating back to their days as young workers in the countryside during the Cultural Revolution. Wang has held many important positions in China's government and economy. He was the governor of the China Construction Bank in the 1990s, overseeing its reform and modernization. He was the vice governor of Guangdong Province and the party secretary of Hainan Province, managing their rapid development and integration with the global market. He was the mayor of Beijing from 2003 to 2007, leading the city's preparations for the 2008 Olympic Games. He was the vice premier in charge of finance and commerce from 2008 to 2013, steering China through the global financial crisis and expanding its trade and investment ties with the world. But Wang's most notable role was as the secretary of the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection, or CCDI, from 2012 to he was the chief enforcer of Xi Jinping's anti-corruption campaign, which targeted both high-ranking officials and low-level bureaucrats who abused their power or violated party rules. Wang was feared and respected for his toughness and integrity, as he cracked down on corruption, waste, and extravagance in the party and the government. He also played a key role in consolidating Xi Jinping's authority and eliminating potential rivals or dissenters within the CCP. Wang retired from his official positions in 2017, but he remained influential behind the scenes. In 2018, he was elected as the Vice President of China, a largely ceremonial post that gave him more flexibility and freedom to deal with foreign affairs. Wang has been involved in many diplomatic initiatives and negotiations with other countries, especially on issues such as trade, security, climate change, and global governance. He has met with many world leaders and dignitaries, including former U.S. President Barack Obama, former U.N. Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, Russian President Vladimir Putin, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, German Chancellor Angela Merkel, and French President Emmanuel Macron. Wang is known for his pragmatic and problem-solving approach to diplomacy. He is not afraid to speak his mind or challenge conventional wisdom. He is also willing to listen and learn from different perspectives and experiences. He has a keen interest in history, culture, economics, and technology. He is fluent in English and has a good sense of humor. He is often described as China's troubleshooter, or firefighter, who can handle complex and sensitive issues with skill and confidence. As the new Chinese ambassador to the U.S., Wang Qishan faces a daunting task of managing one of the most important and difficult relationships in the world. The U.S. and China are both rivals and partners, competing and cooperating on various fronts. The two countries have many differences and disputes over trade, human rights, security, technology, ideology, and regional influence. The two countries also have many common interests and challenges that require cooperation and coordination, such as fighting the COVID-19 pandemic, combating climate change, preventing nuclear proliferation, maintaining global stability, and promoting economic development. Wang Qishan's mission is to find ways to reduce tensions, resolve conflicts, enhance mutual understanding, and foster cooperation between the U.S. and China. He will have to deal with a new U.S. administration that has adopted a more assertive and confrontational stance toward China than its predecessor. He will also have to communicate with a diverse and divided American society that has mixed feelings and opinions about China. Wang Qishan has the experience, expertise, connections, personality, and vision to be an effective ambassador for China in the U.S. He will try to bridge the gap between the two countries' interests and values, while defending China's sovereignty and dignity. He will try to promote dialogue and engagement between the two countries' governments, businesses, media, academia, civil society, and people-to-people exchanges. Wang Qishan will not shy away from tough issues or hard talks with his American counterparts. But he will also seek common ground and win-win solutions that benefit both sides. He will not compromise on China's core interests or principles, but he will also respect America's legitimate concerns and aspirations. Wang Qishan will be a candid friend and a constructive partner for America in this critical juncture of history. The new Chinese ambassador to the U.S., Qin Gang, arrived in Washington on Tuesday, amid rising tensions and uncertainty between the two superpowers. Qin is a veteran diplomat who has served as a spokesman for the foreign ministry and a close aide to President Xi Jinping. He is expected to bring a confident and assertive tone to the bilateral relationship, reflecting China's growing power and ambition on the global stage. Qin's appointment comes at a critical juncture, as the U.S. and China are locked in a strategic rivalry over a range of issues, from trade and technology to human rights and regional security. The Biden administration has maintained a tough stance on China, while seeking to cooperate on areas of mutual interest, such as climate change and pandemic response. The two sides have also held several high-level meetings, including a virtual summit between Xi and Biden in November, to try to stabilize and manage their differences. But despite these efforts, the relationship remains fraught with mistrust and misunderstanding. The two countries have clashed over Taiwan, which China claims as its territory but the U.S. supports with arms sales and diplomatic contacts. They have also accused each other of interfering in their internal affairs, such as Hong Kong, Xinjiang, and Tibet. And they have competed for influence and allies in the Indo-Pacific region and beyond. In this complex and dynamic situation, Qin will face many challenges and opportunities in his role as a bridge between the two countries. He will need to balance China's interests and sovereignty with the U.S.'s concerns and expectations. He will also need to find common ground in areas of cooperation on issues such as trade, security, human rights, and global governance. One of Qin's main tasks will be to improve communication and trust between Beijing and Washington, which have deteriorated significantly in recent years.